Alf, it looks to be a seller's market for the high-end basketball card world.
You take the card and put it in the sleeve.
And this is coming off of the heels of a significant injury to, of course, Victor Wembanyama, the hottest up-and-coming star in the NBA. Of course, he's got some sort of a blood clot issue that they're trying to figure out. He's done for the season. Will it be an ongoing thing? Or will it be something where we look back in 15 years and we're like, well, it happened, but he worked his way through it. He is okay. It has not phased basketball card collectors and high-end buyers of his cards and others. Before we dive in, we've got our Tuesday spotlights. JustCollect.com. You've got a collection that you want to sell, or maybe half of it, trying to figure out what is it worth. Easy appraisal form on their website. Make sure to check out JustCollect.com. Also check out the Just Collect YouTube channel, where Leighton Sheldon's doing a lot of really cool industry interviews, giving a lot of education, especially around vintage cards. Card Capsule. You want supplies, high quality supplies, waterproof cases, but you don't want to pay a fortune for them. I have got a coupon, a promo code down below in the video description as well as in the pinned comments. Take some money off for you. You can get semi-rigids, top loaders, all the supplies and cases you need over at Card Capsule. Make sure to check it out. Last but not least, the SlabMags are a cooking. People ordering SlabMags like crazy recently. 10% off your entire SlabMags order with the Sports Card Dad code. Protect the autographs, the surface. You don't want these things fading around. Again, promo codes down in the video description. Many gasped when Victor Wembanyama went down. What's going to happen with his career? What's going to happen to the NBA? I mean, the NBA has been flailing for a while. The WNBA has more momentum heading into its coming season than the NBA does right now. Luka finally looked like Luka there for the Lakers. He had a 30-pointer, 30-something pointer for the Lakers, starting to kind of get into a little bit of a groove, probably getting into some basketball shape. I think he's lost a few pounds. So we got to see what Luka does. I mean, look, there is a lot riding on Luka in LA. And I'm not talking about necessarily just this year, but Luka is the guy that LeBron is passing the torch to in LA. He's supposed to be that next guy. You know, Kareem, Jerry West, Magic Johnson, LeBron James, it's coming down to Luka. Luka is the next guy there. It's very important that he has success in LA. You read comments, you look around at sports news, and you just get the feel for the overall NBA, the All-Star Game weekend. People are just kind of meh on the NBA as a whole. I know that, a lot of basketball fans are not going to want to hear that, but it's just true. The way the game is played. For me personally, I like the brash style going back to the 80s and the 90s, where big men really banged around underneath the basket, and it was more of a physical game in that capacity. Nothing against the cool. I mean, look, it's really cool to have Wembanyama to be able to shoot threes. He can also block shots from all over the place. That's actually my favorite part of Wembanyama's game, is his defense. I watch his defensive highlights more so than I watch just him on like a breakaway dunk. His defensive highlights is what's so missing from the NBA. I like seeing big men that get down there and really play D. We got to hope that Wemby comes back strong as Steph Curry, LeBron, some of these guys age out, their careers end. There's going to need to be a fresh, young group that really takes hold here in the NBA. Now, people were not phased on the very high end. The Choice Nebula 1 of 1 sold for $860,000, I believe is what it came down to. This is a record for a Wembanyama card. His 1 of 1 Black Finite, I believe it was sold for about $550,000. Still a heck of a lot of money for a 22-year-old that still hasn't proven anything, obviously. Again, the fact that people had the confidence, enough high-end buyers, I guess it only takes a couple high-end buyers, frankly, to come in and make that purchase. It is a cool card. It's a huge card. It's probably his best card. Now, the 1 of 1 folks, they might argue with me there. I don't really know. I'm not, the Black Finite versus the Choice Nebula versus the others and all that sort of a thing. You'd have to tell me, I guess, in the comments. Is that his best card, that Nebula 1 of 1 that sold for $860,000? The price point would suggest so. But again, it's just shocking to me where this guy has literally like a life-threatening, potentially a life-threatening injury, and $850,000 just thrown down on a huge Wemby card. Now let's compare over. This was a little bit more money, but for $1.2 million, somebody bought a exquisite RPA LeBron. It's that cool patch auto card. It's an iconic card for modern basketball, folks. It's a BGS 8.5, sold for $1.2 million. Now, the article mentions, I got this from Sports Collectors Daily. Make sure to check out Sports Collectors Daily. All sorts of great articles over there as well. But they mentioned that in peak 2021, one of these 8.5 sold for $2.1 million. So while this is definitely a huge sale for this LeBron RPA, and it's out of 23, not the one that's out of 99. So you got the out of 23 version, you got the out of 99 version. It sold for $1.22 million, but there was a copy that sold at the height of all the crazy in the pandemic, sold for $2.1 million. So still down, obviously, but these are absolutely massive sales in the basketball card market. One thing that is unique to basketball cards that I don't know if we really see in other sports the same way. I do think that there is a Japanese connection with baseball stars like Ohtani, for example. But man, there are some serious basketball collectors in China, in Asia, specifically in the Philippines. There are huge basketball card collectors. There's a lot of cards that nobody has ever seen before, and they're hiding out in collections, big money collections out there in Asia. And that is very specific to, the Jordans and the Kobes and some of these players that are just beloved around the world. A lot of the 90s inserts, a lot of the 90s stars, man, it is so popular out in Asia. That is a unique thing in the sports card market that we'll have to see if that continues on, especially with the new players coming out. I know it certainly is with the Jordans and the Kobes of the world, and also a lot of the 90s stars. Will that continue on as we move into the next phase of stars? I think that it probably will. Another basketball card Sports Collectors Daily is talking about here. I'd never seen this card before. Jordan collectors, did you know about this card? You probably did. But this is a Sign of the Times from 1997. It is a 97 SP Authentic Sign of the Times Jordan auto card. The card looks amazing. I think it's die cut. I'm looking at it in the PSA holder. Great picture of Jordan shooting. It's kind of red and black, and then it's got a really clean auto there. It's already sitting at, I believe, $100,000 at auction, and that's not a card that I've seen for him. Again, maybe a lot of Jordan collectors know about this card. It says in the article that the father, who had cherished it for 20 years, gifted it, I think, to his son, which then immediately went to auction. I just thought that was kind of funny because I feel like with a lot of my own cards and stuff and collectibles, will it be the same way where it's like, son or daughter, I've been cherishing this for a long time. Make sure to take good care of it. Here you go. It's yours now. And then immediately it's like, get as much money for it as possible. Now, I'm sure the dad already knew, like, hey, this is probably going to go to auction and be sold. I just thought that was kind of funny reading it that way. Like, the dad had been cherishing it for 20 years, and then immediately it gets passed down and heads to auction. And I think that pretty much sums up how a lot of this is going to go for us collectors. For all of you that cherish all your stuff and you think that your family is going to hold on to it forever, we're probably wrong on that. It's probably going to be, as we pass on, a lot of this stuff hits the auction block. It's a lot of the reason why I talk about, people get like all worked up at me about caring too much about like values of the stuff that I buy and trying to make smart buys. It is for this purpose of, hey, look, if I'm gone tomorrow, I just want to make sure that it's not like crazy impossible to just go ahead and liquidate for the stuff that my family doesn't want to hold on to. I think there'll be some things that they hold on to just because it reminds them of dad. But I'm not going to kid myself. I think a lot of it would probably go to auction. All right, friends, let me know your thoughts. Is it a huge seller's market for the high-end basketball card world? Are you surprised to see these sorts of sales? Especially given the fact that we have just seen the NBA kind of flailing a little bit. I was surprised to see this Wembanyama card go for as much as it did, to be honest. I thought that maybe some would be a little bit more cautious. But again, I think a lot of people that are buying into these cards, if you're spending almost $1 million on cardboard, you got a little bit of a risk taker in you. And so there we go. All right, friends, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.